Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now the Fallout 4 Next Gen update is finally here, and aside from the Commonwealth, my mods have also been nuked. I did turn off auto updates on Steam and had planned to play the older version for as long as I could, but I was curious to see if performance had been impacted in any way with the latest patch. I think it's PS5 and Xbox Series users who benefit the most with native applications, as well as performance and quality options. Those with a Steam Deck must be glad to see this game is finally verified for that as well. Now I mentioned before about mods, and this is the first thing I want to talk about. You may have noticed that the gameplay footage looks sped up. This is because the physics are tied to the frame rate still. Before the patch I used Fallout 4 Script Extender or F4SE along with the high FPS physics fix to resolve this, meaning I could play at any frame rate I wanted without the game running at supersonic speed. The latest patch broke F4SE, meaning anything that relies on it, including the high FPS physics mod, no longer works. According to the F4SE site, an update is being worked on, but there is no timeline for its availability. Maybe by the time you're watching this, it's out already. At the moment, I'd recommend keeping a frame rate cap in place, either the default one or a custom one to avoid any problems, because it's not just the visuals that are affected, audio is as well. I picked up an audio log, turned and faced a wall, got about 300 frames per second, and sure enough it sounded like I'd just listened to a Wastelander's rendition of Rap God. I know it's overkill, running at 1080p on a 4070 Super, but I wanted to demonstrate a point. Yeah, if you have updated, keep a frame rate cap in place for now. The game only seems to really speed up at over 100 FPS, so if you're using a lower end graphics card, then it may still be worth running the game unlocked, which I couldn't actually do using the usual Fallout 4 prefs.ini tweak. Beforehand, I set the iPresent interval option to 0, which disabled VSync. This time, however, I needed to turn VSync off for Fallout 4 manually in the NVIDIA control panel, otherwise nothing happened. I'm not quite sure what the AMD alternative is, but I'm sure there's plenty of guides out there. It's hard to tell if performance is better or worse with a card like this, so I then switched to my older GTX 1060 3GB, which suffers quite a bit in modern games in part thanks to VRAM limitations. Fallout 4 is over 8 years old, so it runs really well on this card even at 1080p Ultra. Now what I will say is that the VRAM allocation figure seems to be a little higher after the patch, but we don't exactly have all that much to be allocated. I briefly played the game on this card before the patch, and it seems to be running pretty much the same. I did notice some dips to the high 40s in specific areas like Cambridge for example. Pre-patch, this seemed to stay at above 50 FPS even at the worst points, at least during my brief testing beforehand. This is one, albeit rather VRAM limited graphics card in a pool of many though, so you'll have to let me know if performance seems to be any different for you. To be honest though, if you could run this game before with a playable frame rate, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do so post-patch. There's no major graphics overhaul to worry about or anything like that. I'd have liked to see DLSS or FSR implemented, to be honest, maybe even an FOV slider, but it is what it is. I think this patch is definitely more exciting if you play on consoles, and to be honest, I didn't expect much from the PC update. I'm glad it still runs well on older graphics cards too though. I tend to think of The Witcher 3 when I think of next gen updates, which got a DX12 mode affecting older GPUs. There's nothing like that here, but these are my brief experiences in a nutshell as it were, so far. I do plan to test some more hardware with the new Fallout 4 patch, but until then, let me know your experiences down below, whether you're playing on console, Steam Deck or PC, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one.